Bread making is both art and science. It requires attention to minute details, with precise measurements taken down to the gram. But it requires a flexibility as well, an openness to the surprises that a natural process like fermentation can provide. Baking is the application of meticulous discipline and centuries of tradition to the creation of the unique, the beautiful, the edible ephemeral breads that form the basis of our obsession, sandwiches. The certainties of mass and of ratios, and the uncertainty of the resulting volume of product, especially when baking in bulk, often lead to leftover scraps of dough. Now these can be used to start the next day's dough fermenting, or, if you've got a lot of it, they can be shaped into irregular discs and thrown into the bottom of the cooling oven at the end of the bake day to make hearth breads. In much of England, they're called bread cakes, these large, flat, round loaves of bread. Though regional names exist too. Oven-bottom cakes, scufflers, or in the area around Newcastle, stottie cakes. These bread cakes, chewy, somewhat dense, generally on the larger side, have traditionally been a working person's food. Cut open, buttered, filled with jam or cheese or potted meat spread, they provide an abundance of calories in a relatively compact package. In the northeast of England, traditionally the jobs those workers were doing might be at the shipyards in Newcastle, building the vessels to be launched into the North Sea, or at the salt works in South Shields, sweating the days away over pans of brine, or in the coal mines, digging the energy out of the earth to power the industry around them. A stottie filled with ham and peas pudding was the cocktail of hydrocarbons and carbohydrates needed to fuel a day's labors. When Muhammad Ali visited the area in July of 1977, a local photographer brought him a stottie stuffed with, he says, ham and peas pudding. The photographer later claimed that after a few bites, the boxer said he loved it. Now, by that time in his life, Ali had parted ways with the Nation of Islam, but I'm pretty sure that as a Sunni Muslim, he still wasn't about to go to town on a ham sandwich. Still, maybe it was all performative, and like Bill Clinton, he did not inhale. Now, I'm not sure I got these stotties quite right. I think I needed to roll the dough out a little flatter. These are pretty thick. But there is also a tendency in the UK toward using sturdy bread in sandwiches, and thick slices, doorstop bread they call it, or a doorstop sandwich with inch-thick slices of sturdy white bread surrounding a standard amount of sandwich filling. I think my 2-inch thick wedges of stottie should do. As for fillings, I tried the standard ham and peas pudding, of course. Peas pudding is surprisingly delicious, being essentially split pea soup flavored with white pepper and malt vinegar. Very much English chip shop fare. Here I used a tavern ham, sliced just a bit thicker than standard sandwich slices. A smoky, salty, fatty, whole muscle ham with good natural texture and plenty of flavor. The subtle sweetness of the peas pudding, earthy and savory with a mild malt vinegar tartness, is a natural partner for the smoky, salty ham. Unless you worry that 2 ingredients will not make a filling enough sandwich, that thick envelope of bread should lay all doubt to rest. I also made a standard Geordie sandwich spread called cheese savory, consisting of shredded cheese, a mature cheddar generally. I used an 18-year-old Wisconsin cheddar, doesn't get much more mature than that, along with shredded carrots, some diced onion or minced scallion, and mayonnaise or salad cream. And this is a terrific simple bit of sandwich wizardry. A strong sharp cheese, savory and salty, offset by the sweet carrots and pungent onions, and glued together with the salad cream, itself a sort of sweet sour sauce like a Miracle Whip, but leaning harder into the vinegar flavor and less into the high fructose corn syrup. It's a lot of flavor, which is a good thing when you are filling a doorstop sandwich roll like this. But I wanted to share this particular stottie with you especially, based on a video that made a few of you think of me, wherein a smiling gentleman buttered 2 slices of white bread, added tinned corned beef, sliced boiled eggs, pickled onions, and tomato to one slice, with Colman's English mustard and Branston pickle going on the other. That, my friends, is a potent mix of flavors which he says the miners from the north of England would take down the pits to keep them going all day. And a little Googling reveals other sources talking about similar sandwiches. One YouTube video calls it a miner's mix. Another page recommends tinned corned beef with pickled beetroot. Yet another corned beef and onion. This miner's mix seems like a natural filling for the stottie, which was a pitman's partner in those parts. And you know what? I may have taken the odd cheap shot at the Brits in the past, poking fun at their idea of highly seasoned. But this here is a mix of big, kick-in-the-teeth flavors. Tinned corned beef is fatty and salty and savory, and the boiled eggs provide some additional savory bulk. But then the flavors hit. The onions alone counteract the fatty bulk of meat spread and egg, cutting through with their salty, sweet, sour, pickled pungency. Colman's mustard should be categorized as a chemical weapon, and its sinus-destroying pungency is a natural partner to the malty, sweet, and sour sauce the Branston pickle is swimming in. The sliced tomato is a welcome bit of moisture in a sandwich with a salt content that might otherwise instantly dehydrate you. And a sandwich with this much flavor needs a sturdy, thick, chewy bread to balance those fillings. Now, I'm not sure how well it would survive in a coal miner's pocket over the course of a 12-hour shift, but I suppose history must bear out its use in that context. Me, I'd like to take this sandwich on a hike, a bike ride, a picnic, a round of disc golf. I'd like to walk or ride or throw until I've worn myself out, and then bite into this hefty wedge of, not heaven, not exactly, but the good, clean, life-giving earth. It may be a doorstop, and a guy eating this sandwich may never float like a butterfly or sting like a bee, but he'll eat like a miner.